In this video, we're talking about Ableton's brand new app called Note. So now we can sketch song ideas on the go, we can chillax and make music on the couch, and we can easily build a daily music making habit with this awesome app. So in this video, we're going to talk about first impressions and general thoughts on this app. Hey yo, it's Alex from Meta Music, and as always with this channel, it's my mission to help you, the artist, produce themselves by developing their mindset, expanding their creativity, and connecting to their music in a deeper way. And I'm super stoked that Ableton has released an app and play around with this really intuitive app on our phones. So a lot of the times when we're not really feeling like sitting down in the space station or we've been working all day on our computers, we can still make music while we're chilling on the couch, while we're in transit somewhere, or if we just want to play around on our phone. And again, having something separate from your studio that you can record ideas and things that come into your mind is a great way to capitalize on inspiration when it comes. So what I wanted to do is just kind of open up the app and play around with it and talk through it and explore it together and see what it can do. All right, so I'm going to pop the feed of my phone onto the screen so you can follow along, and let's actually check out what's going on here. All right, so when you open up the app, you'll have 3 different sets that are already loaded here that you can just click on and open up the session and see some sessions that are already pre-made, but I'm going to go back, and I've also created a couple, and you can sample them just by pressing play. So that's something I came up with a few days ago. Just going to hit stop. And one thing I really like about this app is that it's super intuitive. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean. When you open it up, everything flows pretty easily, and it's pretty easy to learn what the settings do and where everything is just by playing around. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit new to start a new set. And you'll notice that we have 3 tracks with different instruments loaded up. And this is basically the same thing as Ableton's session view. So if you're familiar with Ableton, you played around with it once or twice, you'll be familiar as to how this works. And for veterans, you'll be super familiar with this layout. So let's go ahead and start by maybe laying down a drum beat. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the icon on the top of this track. And then we have this drum sound that pops up. And if I hit these different pads, we have different samples. And depending on what pad I hit, I can go over here, and here's the sample for this pad. So we have pad effects, and then we have effects for the whole kit. And yeah, so let's actually just throw in a beat. So the way that Ableton Note works is that as you play notes, you'll notice that it started recording them, and it kind of just works with how the MIDI capture works in Ableton. Whereas you're just playing notes and then you capture performances from the past without having to start recording and stop recording, all that stuff. So I could just go ahead and play a groove. So I recorded that, easy as that. All right, so that timing was a little off. There's a little bit of lag between these two. So I think that if I touch this clip, I can quantize this. So I just quantized it. Cool. So pretty intuitive. There's all this other stuff. You can quantize, can adjust the velocity, transpose it up or down octaves. Cool. So we have a beat. Nice. Let's go back to our pads. And I want to duplicate this, so I think it's this button. Okay, cool. So I've duplicated this clip to a second clip slot. So now we can add a variation or something. So let's find hi-hat. And notice that it played over it, but it's not recorded, right? So I'm actually going to play around with recording a new sample. Let's do something fun here. Going to stop playback for now, and let's find an object to hit this other object. Okay, so I'm gonna hit capo on my cup here and see if we can do that. So I'm gonna hit record. Cool. And now let's put the cup back. It's got my voice there.
Chord.
Oh no, there we go. By zooming in and dragging, I can adjust the clip. So I just want this. There you go. So let's go ahead and play our beat. So I'm gonna have that recorded sample here, which is pretty cool. And I'm gonna hit repeat, maybe eighth notes, pause. I'm actually gonna go back here to the clip, and I'm just going to get the first half. So I'm actually gonna delete these four. Cool, here we go, single pad. So in this mode, I'm just gonna pause this for a sec. Looks like we have repeat, so we can repeat at a specific timing. So I have eighth notes selected. And then this is all the pads of our kit, or we can select a single pad, and this is different velocity, right? So I'm just gonna play around with dragging my finger on here and get some variation in the performance. I'm actually going to duplicate these two. So if you swipe to the right, boom, duplicated. Okay, let's give it a go. Add it. Okay, so that's cool. We got a beat. Let's go back here. Let's maybe get a melodic thing going. Deep pluck. Okay. So if you want to change sounds, you just hit the preset name, deep pluck, and then there's all these sounds built in, which are pretty awesome. Cool. Let's go with this. So done. And if we go on the top right hand, I think there's more options. Yeah, scale. Let's go E flat Dorian. Sounds like this. I like that scale, so done. You'll notice how our pads now play that scale. So let's go ahead and add an effect. I kind of want a delay on here, so I'm going to hit the effect. So yeah, if we look at the top, we have our pads, and then FX1, and we have FX2. So I'm going to hit FX1, and then if I hit that name again, I can change the effects. Let's add a delay. Let's go with 16th dub. Sure, done. Increase the dry wet. Maybe not quite that much. And I want some more feedback. Cool. I actually want higher octave stuff. Octave 2. Cool. Okay, so we have a vibe. Let's see if I can drag. Yeah, you can just tap and hold, I think. Yeah, drag it up. This is so sick. Cool, let's add some bass. Cool, all right, that sounds cool. Let's go back. Oh, didn't actually hit it. Boom, done. And then I think if you tap the no clip, fixed length, yes. Let's go with 4 bars. So now I've created a clip that's 4 bars long, and I'll just start playing once it loops around. Let's go. Let's add it. Now I'm gonna go back here to the main menu, hit stop. So now I have, if I click and drag this down, I think I can duplicate this, and there's a little button down here that opens up your scenes, right? So we can trigger scenes just like in Session View in Ableton, which is awesome. So you can really sketch out like more than just a loop. You can sketch out a song arrangement. So I'm gonna click these mixers here, and we can actually mix this a little bit. Let's turn down the bass. something like that. I'm gonna add some more reverb. So now we could like perform this and see what we got. So scene 1. This is sick. Do this on your couch. Scene 2. Scene 3, add the bass. Stop the bass. Cool. So it says pause. We went over, yeah, tempo, metronome, export audio. So we could export this as a wave. Let's go ahead and export it. And just as that, now we can share this to anyone. Save to files. Sure. And so it's super easy to export our audio from what we've created. And I'm pretty sure it records every scene one after another. That's why we have a 40-second piece of music there. So that's a great feature. And there's also a feature, if I go back to the main menu here, I think there's more options, maybe. There's this thing called Ableton Cloud that right here, it's off. And I might have to authenticate it so that I can do it. But what it does is basically it sends the whole project file to Ableton Cloud, and then you can log in from your Ableton on your computer. And then basically you can open up those projects super easily using that Ableton Cloud. So that's another huge thing they included, and I'm excited to see where that goes because this is just the beginning. I bet you any money. So my first thoughts and impressions on this thing is that, one, it's very intuitive. If you just get this app and start playing around with it, I guarantee you'll start figuring out how it works and how to adjust sounds and play with your notes and play different instruments, all that kind of cool stuff. And second is that if you love Ableton and you use it as your DAW, it's so familiar. All the sounds are familiar. The MIDI capture is familiar. The effects, right? The drum rack, the simpler, the wavetable, the synths, all the sounds are very familiar on this thing. So it feels like you're at home. And then the third thing that I think is very important about this kind of app is that often I have tried to take a laptop with me with a MIDI controller or just my laptop and pencil in notes to stay creative on the go. But this just makes it so much easier, so much lower of a threshold for you to be making music when you're out and about or when you think you have no time. Just pop this app open for 5-10 minutes while you're sitting on a couch and you can get an idea out. So that will help you build a habit of making music daily because the sounds in here are incredible. The workflow is easy and you can take these ideas and develop them farther in Ableton. So would I recommend this thing? All in all, I would 100% recommend this thing. It's $10. You spend $10 on fast food or on anything. It's an impulse buy, but this will actually help you stay creative and potentially get some ideas that you can develop further. Plus, if you're out on the road or you're out and about somewhere, you can record samples in here. So if you have a vocal idea or if you have a guitar nearby and you want to record something into Ableton NOTE, you can super easily, just like we did with the coffee mug. Even if you're not an Ableton user, definitely check out this app. If you are, just get the app. It's going to help you so much. It's amazing. It's a good time. Yeah, I only have good things to say about it. So now when I'm feeling tired after being on the computer all day and I'm sitting back on the couch, instead of scrolling through YouTube or something, I'm going to open up Note and be making some music. And hey, if you're getting started with music production and feeling completely overwhelmed by the process, or if you've been at this for a while, but you're having trouble finishing projects or finding a sound that really feels like your own, or hey, if you just want to check out my workflow that I teach to my students, I've created a super easy to follow 7-step framework that takes you from your very first ideas all the way to a finished mix and master while helping you develop your own creative process so that you can really express yourself and your artistry through your music making. So if you want to grab that, you can find it in the link in the description down below. So let me know, what do you think of Ableton Note? Do you think it would be something you use? Does it look like something fun to incorporate into your music making? Or are you just going to stick with your tried and true DAW on your computer? Or maybe you have another app like a voice capture or voice memo that you use to capture ideas. I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comments below. And until the next time, I will see you in the next video.